Wonderful Wednesday, everyone. Hi out there. Welcome to Woman Emerge Network. I am your host, and we have an amazing co host on today. I am Melissa Lambert, and we are with Alisha Cannon from Wombveristy. She is the founder, she is the chief science officer of this amazing company. And we're going to come to you with a subject today, and the subject is fibroids. We're going to have a three-part with this. So this is not just for today. We're going to kind of continue this because fibroid is heavy. It's a heavy subject, right? So we want to be able to answer your questions. We want to be able to share the information. So we're going to start with just talking about the comfortability of feeling safe to really understand what fibroid is. If you are someone that is going through it right now, I want you to feel safe, to feel like you can share within this group. And I want you to hear from someone who also healed themselves from fibroids. You know, she had it, she healed from it, and she's in the space to help others heal through it. So I'm excited today to bring on the CEO, the founder, and the person that actually formulates these amazing products through Wombveristy, Alisha Cannon. So Alisha, tell us a little bit about who you are and how did the word fibroids get into your storyline of your past now into your future?
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for putting me on this show, Melissa. Again, my name is Alisha Cannon. I am the proud co-founder of Wombveristy. And how I found out I had fibroids was actually falling out in a store because my blood count was extremely low. Went to the doctor. The doctor asked me, Miss Cannon, do you know why you're losing so much blood? And it didn't make sense for me to be in a emergency room and they asked me what's going on with my body when I'm here to find out what they're going to tell me what's wrong with my body. But that's how my journey started. My journey started from the physicians telling me that, hey, you're losing a lot of blood and we need to find out where's the blood going. And it was discovered that I had fibroids. I had several fibroids. When fibroids come about, they don't just come by one. They come almost like bunches of grapes, right?
Wow.
Not only did I have fibroids, I had 3 cesareans in the past. So I had scar tissue on top of the fibroids that were in my womb space.
Wow.
Pain, heavy bleeding, and my hair was falling out. My skin was extremely dry. My hormones were just all out of whack. I gained 50 pounds in a matter of 3 months. I felt like I was by myself. I felt like even though, a lot of women have fibroids, there's no outlet. There's no support. It's just one of those things where you have to make a decision. Am I going to take these birth control pills or I'm going to have a hysterectomy? Those are the options. We're either going to take synthetic hormone therapy to potentially cause the fibroids to shrink and cause other issues in my body as well. Or just say the heck with it and get everything removed. Yeah, those were the choices that I was faced with when I discovered I had fibroids.
So even in the story of fibroids, you just have 2 things that you just listed: fibroid and a hysterectomy.
Oh yeah.
So in this journey, you're facing with what you said, seven of these balls inside of you. You mentioned that one of them had a little tail to it as well. I mean, So many of us as women, especially in the Black community, are struggling with this discomfort called fibroids. When you're sharing now this story and you're wanting to help someone get comfortable in the space to say, you know what, I'm not where Alisha is. I can't tell my truth like her, but I want to hear her. Or they may say, I am where Alisha is. I want to tell my truth, but I'm scared they're going to judge me. Or somebody can be like, you know what? I am where Alisha is. I want to tell my truth. I want to shout it out loud. And I want to be in the place where I can show them how they can heal thyself. How do you now help those three ladies come to part with opening up their mouth and sharing and being comfortable knowing that this information, it's been given a test where you have came through the test with a testimony, and you can do three things: you can hide behind it, you can try to share it, or you can just open your mouth and speak it. So how do you approach and speak to these three women right now?
Well, first of all, I really want to get to the emotional side of the fibroids, because once we tap into that, it opened the doors for us to be more open with talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just the word sanitary napkins
Mm-hmm.
puts out this energy that our bodies are not, they're not pure, or
Mm-hmm.
it's we're not clean because
Mm-hmm.
we're wearing sanitary napkins. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like it just has a ugly undertone to it. So we are taught to look at our bodies like something is wrong with it.
Mm.
We have blood issues. Remember that, blood issues, when
Mhm,
naturally our body's supposed to have cycles. Like, so I guess the first thing that I would like to, break the silence on is the way we look at our bodies, the way we feel about our temple and our reproductive system. The way we only identify with our breasts when we're breastfeeding, or when we're having sexual intercourse, when we're being intimate, but otherwise they're just there. um, the same thing with our womb space. We're not connected to it, unless, again, if we're having our cycles, or if we're having sex, or if we're, pregnant. And the whole time, this is an energy source, right?
mhm.
And
Yeah.
so it's powerful. It's the co-creator of life. And
Mhm.
so it's time for us as women to start tapping into what is it that we have, and how deep it is, and how it connects in all areas and aspects of our lives. So first, even with the trauma that's sitting inside of our womb space, um,
Mm.
when you think about fibroids, you think about you I had to start looking at it in order to heal as an angry pregnancy. It was some things
Wow.
that I needed to birth in life, that because it was stagnated, it was growing in my womb space, but it wasn't a creation of something I want. It was the very opposite. It was a creation of something that I didn't want. And
Mm.
the fibroids were extremely painful. I suffered for having my menstrual cycle majority of the month, going through bags and bags of pads, within 2 weeks of being on a cycle, longer than the average 3 to 7 days. But let's talk about having a cycle for like 14 to 18 days, the embarrassment behind it, because you don't know if you're going to be out in public and you mess up your undergarments and things like that. And then the stress levels. that comes with that. Being cold all the time, your stomach constantly being bloated because you have these fibroids. So you're dealing with a lot of gas and bloat. You gaining weight, but you're not even able to eat as much, because when you have fibroids, it kind of it don't take away your appetite per se, but eating, you might not be able to eat as much because the fibroids um, have you bloated and gassed up all the time. Even the ideal of becoming pregnant, sometimes, when you have fibroids, it decreases your chances of being able to carry that baby full
Wow.
term. So there's a number of complications that's attached to this fibroids.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a common cold, especially in the African American community,
Mm-hmm.
because statistically they say 600,000 women
Yeah.
each year during childbearing age
Mm.
will discover they have fibroids. But that's the ones that actually go to the doctor and find out. A
Come
lot
on.
of women have no idea that they have fibroids, but
Mm-mm.
they actually do, and they are suffering in silence.
Yeah. Yeah. And we have a question here. Keisha Black asks, how the heck you knew that they were gone? I mean, that's a question that a lot of the ladies want to ask, because you know that these things are growing inside of you, but you
Mhm.
healed yourself in 7 months
And
from
7
them. How did you know that they were gone out of your body? Thanks,
months.
Keisha, for asking that question.
Oh, that's a wonderful question. When I'm gonna tell you one thing, girl, I started feeling like I got my life back.
Mm,
My hair started to thicken up, because at first it was so thin that if I brushed my hair in a ponytail, you can see my scalp, right?
wow.
So that was one thing that was going on. My hair started growing and started to become thick again.
Mhm.
Another thing was my cycles went back down to 3 days.
Ooh.
I didn't have long cycles. I wasn't seeing dark purplish blood no more when I came on my cycle. I wasn't having big blood clots come out. Another thing was, I actually went to the doctor and I was like, okay, something is different. I'm starting to lose a little weight in my waistline again. I'm feeling back like myself. I have energy, because when you have fibroids, a lot of times with ladies, you don't know that it's connected to not having energy. You're feeling fatigue all the time. And so I started to notice that I was going back into like my old self again. So I was
Mhm.
like, hey, let me find out what's going on with my womb space.
Yeah.
And when I went back, I was asked, are you sure you had fibroids?
Hmm. Hmm.
Ma'am, we don't see any fibroids.
Mm.
We don't see no fibroids at all.
Wow.
My biggest fibroid was 5 centimeters at the time, and um, they they didn't see anything.
Wow.
So one thing about the company Wombveristy is we have a certification, and it's called wombologist, and that wombologist training you will be taught by a powerful instructor that's going to teach you how to identify the if you have fibroids or other kind of reproductive issues, and also the process that you need to go through with your physician, right, to work with you on getting rid of these fibroids. So you have accountability partner, and I didn't have accountability partner at the time. I wish I did, but I knew that I needed to work directly with my physician and see what was going on with my body when I started discovering the changes that I started to see.
Wow. And Keisha has another question. I'm hoping that response helped you out, Keisha. She said, I didn't know until they were hurting real bad one day. So, when did you know that you actually had the fibroids? Was it just like how Keisha explained it, where it was hurting her so bad that she realized something was going on in her womb?
Well, before I had a ectopic pregnancy and in November, and
This
when I
past
had that,
November,
no, this it was in 2014. I had an
2014. Okay.
ectopic pregnancy, and when I had that ectopic pregnancy, they removed one of my fallopian tubes. So my body wasn't really the same after that procedure. In 2015, I found out that March that I had fibroids.
Wow.
So up until that time, I thought it was just something that I was dealing with, per se, dealing with having to have that surgery not that long ago. But
Mhm.
how I found out I had fibroids were actually falling out. I actually passed out in the Dollar Tree store, and a lady, an old lady, elder lady, was like, "Ma'am, I think you need to go to the hospital. You really need to go to the hospital." And I was like, "Yeah, this is odd. This is something's not right." I bust out in a sweat. I wasn't feeling right. I was already dealing with a lot of mental issues going on in my
Mhm.
body. And I was like, okay, yeah, I feel like I'm dying. Like I really do
Mhm.
need to go to the doctor. And I did. And that's when they told me I had fibroids.
At the time, how many was it at that's was the set those full seven at the time, or they kept on growing?
Well, how my fibroids were connected, it was three, but they come like bunches of grapes. So I had like little small fibroids on top of a bigger size fibroid, right?
Wow.
So
Wow.
say the 5 centimeter fibroid had like 1 centimeter fibroid on top of it. So
Wow.
it was I had multiple fibroids in different places on around my uterus.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew. I mean, Keisha also even mentioned she did not know that fibroids take out your hair. And you mentioned that.
Oh yeah.
And so it not only took out your hair, it made you gain weight, it made you very uncomfortable, your hormones were off balance, you're heavy bleeding. So it has a lot of side effect, a lot of symptoms behind having this fibroid. So I know we're gonna this was just a first part of us talking and discussing fibroids, and I'm glad to see some of our people are chiming in to the conversation. On our next time that we do connect, I would love for you to again go deeper into your story, because again, we want people to understand, like, you're not alone. It
Absolutely.
affects so many of us. We just not talking about it, and now you understand that there is someone that is as bold as Alisha Cannon is. She is stepping up to say, no more, sis. She is stepping up to say, no more, sis. No more suffering in silence. You have that ability to have that same voice. Even though you are suffering in silence, the time is now. So tell us a little bit before we go, Alicia,
Mhm.
how does now Wombveristy and the slogan "No More Sis Suffering in Silence" connect to a person that's walking in that journey of saying, I got these fibroids and I want to get healed from it. I don't want to have a hysterectomy. I don't want to I mean, I want to take care of my womb. So how does Wombveristy and the slogan that we go off, no more sis suffering silence, how does it merge and help a person that's right now suffering in silence from fibroids?
Well, actually, Wombversity it's a movement, right? It's a movement for women to feel comfortable in their skin and talk about the things that they normally don't talk about, which is their reproductive health. Um, here at Wombversity, we're not judging you if you had a hysterectomy or if you are in a process of considering to have a hysterectomy, but we want to be your support system no matter what decision you make, because I'm a firm believer that we make the decisions based on how we feel and what we know at the moment. And so every woman is different. But again, here at Wombveristy, we want you to feel comfortable. If you want to learn how to naturally start to heal yourself, because no one heals you, you're your own healer, right? We just provide tools, right? Then you're at the right place. If you had a hysterectomy, but you want to talk about fibroids and other reproductive issues to women to help assist them so they won't have to go through what you went through, we're here as well. Because here at Wombveristy, we have a place for that as well, right? But if you are suffering in silence and you feel like the information you have, you don't want to expose it because you're worried about how people would view you if they knew you had fibroids or PCOS and endometriosis. We want to let you know that here at Wombveristy, we have a sacred space, and there's thousands and thousands of women that are actually going through the same thing that you're going through. And we just want to love on you. We want to let you know that, hey, sis, no more suffering in silence, because you can't heal if you're not talking. You have to become a voice for yourself first and foremost. And so when you come in contact with these other powerful women sharing their story, the spirit within your soul is going to force you to come out and start talking about your story, because guess what? Your story can change someone else's life.
Yeah.
So we're going to join hands, sister, and we're going to fight this thing together, right? And we're not going to look at one person like they made the bad decision, because again, we all make the best decisions for us at the time that we're going through it. You know, if you had a hysterectomy, you still need that support and love. Why? Because there's still energy flowing in your womb space. That energy was created before you came out of your mom precious womb space. And we're going to adore that and love on you just where you are, sister. And if you going through menopause, we're going to love you as well, because you might have went through, the phase of having the hysterectomy threat, or having hormonal issues, or whatever kind of changes that your body is going through. It don't matter here at Wombveristy. We all have a voice, and we all are in this together. We all are women, and we're going to fight this thing to the end. Why? Because the generations that's coming, they need us.
Yes.
They need us. The generations, our daughters need us. And so the curses that were upon our womb space, it's time to cut those now and become more in the awareness of loving on ourselves and healing the traumas and healing the dis-ease and the discomfort. So come on and join us. Come on and join us. Bring your expertise. We all learn from each other. And here at Wombveristy, the doors are open for you as well.
Wow. I just love what you said at the end. Cut the curse from our wombs.
Yes.
And you never thought about that. And I mean, even when I think about one of my issues from my womb, me having miscarriage. No one in my family had it. But the crazy part, my ex-husband's family all suffered with, miscarriage after miscarriages. Even a stillborn, me having a stillborn. My mom, no one in my family had a stillborn, but I did. And yes, I wanted to stop with me. I want to be able to share, with the passion that I have now, to share to Chelsea how to take care of her personal space, how to clean, how to prepare her body, how to nurture her womb, because again, as mothers, we have to be in that space where we're educating our children, our daughters, because they're going to be becoming teenagers to young adults to adults. And we want to make sure we embody what we know, what works for them in the natural way. So, yes, let's cut the curse from our wombs.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Alisha. It's an honor. I mean, I told you this before, but I've never met a company that I've been in the industry of multi-level marketing. I say people helping people business since 1999. And I've never had a company that matches my purpose. It's an honor to serve with Wombveristy. I feel like every business conversation I'm having, I'm saying, hey, do you know about a company that's coming about? It's going to be a household name very soon because we're about to heal a lot of ladies. We're taking care of their womb space,
Yes.
and just to know that you talked about earlier about the wombologist, to know that you are certifying us to get the knowledge. Always remember, knowledge is power. The Bible tells us the people perish because of the lack thereof, the lack of knowledge. And here at Wombveristy, we are going to provide the academy, the resource, and all that you need to help you understand this womb. Because you're now going to be the legs that are going to go forth and share in a positive way and be able to now take one woman's vision to the massive. Take one woman's vision to the world. And I honor you today, Alisha, because your mission, your vision, that dream that you had is now coming to reality. Last night we had people from the Bahamas on our call. We had people from Jamaica on our call. We had people from St. Croix on our call. And here in the United States, we will be a household name. We will empower women to serve. I even changed our name. I said, with those who are coming aboard the team, I said, we are woman empowerment specialists. We're about to empower women to move and to know more about their womb and to be able to take care of that. We have somebody here that said, okay, this is a bit long, but I'm going to read it for you, Alisha.
Okay.
Let me see who that is. Hold on one second. Someone.
I can't hear you, Melissa.
Okay, so that's Pastor Laura. She said, hello, everyone. I had a hysterectomy several years after my daughter was born. After her birth, I started bleeding, heavy with clots. Ultrasound revealed my uterus was enlarged, and they assumed I had fibroids. When I went to surgery, the doctor said there was no fibroid. It was scar tissue growing on my womb because of the C-section when I birthed my children. I felt good not to have period. It felt good not to have periods, but I don't worry much about it. Wow. That's amazing to know that. I mean, it's not amazing, but like, just imagine thinking that you have all that on you, in you, I should say, and to come to find out it was scar tissue.
Oh, that's so common. It's so
Really?
common. Yes, especially with women that have had, previous cesareans, finding out that, they have scar tissue, a scar tissue buildup that is causing them to have pelvis pain. And, finding out that it really wasn't fibroids, it was just the scar tissues. And, it's a combination of things that people have used in order to get rid of the scar tissue. One common thing is just losing weight.
Wow.
Yeah. So the fact that this beautiful woman was forced into a hysterectomy due to scar tissue is not surprising to me at all.
No. I feel that when we're undereducated on certain things about our personal space, our womb, these doctors, they're all about that money, y'all. It's more it pays more to cut than giving you a pill.
Oh yeah.
right? So we have to question them when they say, "Oh, it's time for surgery." They're not at your best interest. They're at their best pocket. Their pocket is their interest, right? So as Alisha said, she has seen this a lot. And I'm so glad. Agatha says, thank you for helping us. You're so welcome, Agatha.
Yes.
We are definitely believing that this is going to help so many women around the world. Someone else said something powerful. This is something powerful. And it is. Alisha, you are doing a mighty work, and you have myself that will always be there to hold you up, because sister, hold my hands. And I plan to do that because we are going to work. We're all in this together. Together, we will achieve great success. So we are done for any last words, Alisha, for everybody?
Yes, I would like to say this. Like I said, I am not against the physicians at all. But I am for the movement of, like you said as well, educating ourselves on how to make the proper decisions for our body as well. We have to become advocates of our own temple, right? And so, a lot of times these physicians, they give you recommendations that will, cause an end to what they feel like a lot of your problems may be. But getting to the root of the problem is never discussed. So, what is causing these fibroids? They don't know. But if you can look at your diet, because they always say, well, it's something genetic. Well, our eating habits are passed from one generation to the next. That's part of the problem. Our diet, our stress levels
Mm-hmm.
is part of the problem, right? Because the body is almost impossible for the body to heal if it's under a lot of stress.
Mm-hmm.
We know that stress is a silent killer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing to be looking at. But then the trauma, if you can just think about it, fibroids happen more often in African American women. We, from generations, we have trauma that's
Yeah.
constantly being passed down to, you know, it was passed to our moms, which was passed to us, and now being passed to our daughters. So that trauma, you
Mm.
know, uh, that mental, the spiritual aspect of the fibroids,
Mhm.
those are the things that you know regular physicians don't really get to the bottom of. And so, with us educating ourselves, we can
Yes.
look deep internally and figure out what is it that's going on with my body, because they have it where you can have a mastectomy where they go and they laser remove the fibroids, but some women grow the fibroids right back within a few years.
Wow.
Yeah, to the point where some doctors saying, you know what, let's just skip that process and let's just go ahead and do a hysterectomy. So
Mm.
again, problem solving, diet change, lifestyle change is the number one cure into helping your body to heal itself. And so
Mhm.
that we will educate you on that level so you can put in the work and get the
Yes.
results that you need to see for yourself.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much. We truly appreciate you. We will be back again to do part two. This is part one, discussing fibroids and sharing with you the process, but also letting you know that you're not alone. We are in this together. Please go ahead, if you're not already a part of the Florida and Beyond Wombveristy Facebook. Go ahead and get plugged in. Invite some other sisters. Invite your friend. Invite your sister. Invite your mom. Invite your aunt. Let them come in so they can learn, and they can be able to see a product that is now helping so many women with so many issues, right? And then you will have access to Alisha to hear her story and how she was able to heal herself from fibroids. So I am so excited. Thank you again. We have a young lady. I'm not going to mess up her first name, but her last name is Shaw. Mrs. Shaw said, I love this information. Thank you for being here, Mrs. Shaw. We appreciate you. Everybody else, if you're looking at this as a replay or even live, thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join us here. Until next time, we want you to know that we love you. We want you to know that we hear you. We want you to know that you don't have to suffer in silence anymore. So
Yes.
I thank you, Alisha, for being here. This is the founder and the chief science officer of Wombveristy, Alisha Cannon. Thank you for being here today, and we appreciate all that you do. God bless you. Take care. Take charge. And everyone, let's protect our womb. God bless you all.
Yeah.